map. So we're getting right into it. I think with INTZ is going to be starting us off on Oregon.
Yeah, so here we are now. Again, bottom bomb site is where INTZ is going to choose to go to start it off. We've got that Mira, Jaeger, Bandit, Valkyrie, and Smoke. Again, those are the top 5 operator picks that we just saw earlier.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense that we'll be seeing it here played by INTZ to start things off. We are having a Blackbeard come out for Black Dragons, and again, very sensible pick there. We've been seeing Blackbeard played a whole lot more. Not in the top 5, mind you, but we have been seeing him come into the meta quite a lot more in each and every one of the different scenes, whether it be the Brazilian scene, North American scene, or the European scene. As the Glasner kind of you need an operator on attack who can effectively make hard pushes into angles that a defender is holding. You can see here the west side clear coming out from Black Dragons. They're just looking for those roamers. You have a couple players droning and a couple players clearing actively. They are going to probably spot out anyone on the defensive squad if they are hiding on this west side.
Now we do see PCD working his way into the kitchen. He's got a drone in front of him, clearing out the closet, moving in towards the classroom. Psycho's going to be droning out from the front streets parking or spawn point. But we do have inside of the meeting hall, we've got a Jaeger, and that's going to be FK.
Yeah, so again, that's not, you could call it a roam game playing inside meeting hall, but really it's just, it's more like just an upstairs hold for the downstairs site. And I think that, oh, Silence might get a little too aggressive here on a 9XT. He's playing with fire, but he is actually going to get, actually the Blackbeard's going to get taken out by Ninja all the way over from tower. That's a nice angle from that tower window all the way into the top of meeting hall stairs window. Pick off that Blackbeard early. That's a lot of HP off the board.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw that Valkyrie came get thrown out for. Had a perfect line of sight down into the window. Gave him the perfect time to do that. Now FK will jump up into the attic, put a couple pop shots into the wall that just got blown open, and he decides to hop on back downstairs.
And you can see here, Black Dragons, they're trying to clear out INTZ who are playing inside this meeting hall. They have established control over attic, and now the pressure is on FK1, but he hits the shot. That was an impressive kill there from FK1 to keep his team in the lead here and maintain control, more importantly, over meeting, but he gets traded out by PZD.
Yeah, so PZD originally did come from the kitchen, moved on over, and was able to finish him off. 4 on 3 now with 50 seconds left to go. It seems as though they're doing a fairly decent job of trying, we're seeing Black Dragons do a fairly decent job of trying to get these roamers out, but they still have one
Bandit
left.
Oh, the Bandit's going to opt to fall back to the stairs instead of holding in that meeting hall. They did significantly waste a lot of time to start things off here with only 32 seconds and a 3 versus 4. There aren't a lot of options for Black Dragons, even though they've established control over meeting hall.
And we are going to see these flashbangs go down from PZD. He's going to toss out another one, and his third one most likely going to have it momentarily, but it's going to rush on into the right side, inside of the B side. Now he doesn't spot Valkyrie inside a box, so he's going to turn to the right, and we're going to see Valkyrie possibly coming from underneath, but he will pick off 1 kill on the Lend before he gets taken out by Silence. Then we're going to have Ty finish off Ninja at a 2-on-1. 5 seconds left to go, and Thermite will fall from GCR, and round 1 will go to INTZ.
A good round there from INTZ to lock out that first one, get them started on a nice foot. I think that when we saw Black Dragons try to contest that meeting hall control, it just was too unsuccessful. They ended up not being able to refrag each other, instead coming into the roam game one by one, and at some point they just became such a deficit that the round was basically over. Plus they wasted a ton of time trying to apply that pressure onto the Jaeger.
They did, and so they wasted a lot of time on that. They also let the Valkyrie get the upper hand on the kill on Blackbeard, who was covering the top of the stairs. Ultimately, it was well done by INTZ on that defensive hold.
Yeah, and now Black Dragons are going to be going down into the basement, similar to what we were seeing INTZ do earlier. Both of these teams seeming to prefer that downstairs bomb site. We are not seeing a Hibana coming out from INTZ, so they are going to be straying a little bit from the meta there. But other than that, a pretty similar lineup to what we're used to. You can see there Thai, he's right now upstairs in the west side of the building, reinforcing a wall in Kid's room. He's likely to put a mirror window on that. We're going to be curious. It's going to be curious to see if they have, or if Black Dragons has somebody roam in that big Kids with that mirror window.
Taking a look here. Every single member from Black Dragons is off-site at the moment.
Here we go. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a hard roam game coming out from Black Dragons, and this has worked before for multiple different teams. I mean, it's a good strategy. It's also a very bold strategy at the same time. It relies on each and every one of the different cogs of your players being able to fulfill their own role, because when you have 5 people on site, all they really need to do is trade each other back. But when you have one player roaming over here, one over there, then you need these players to at least get a kill or waste 40 seconds. You know, they need to fulfill something without getting simply picked off. Because if they do just get picked off, that gives the attackers an extremely significant advantage. Now, INTZ are going to be starting their clear from the west side of the building over to the east, and this is, again, what we so commonly see on Oregon to start things off on a basement attack.
Yeah, and you had talked about that pocket aggression, and I feel as though that works if you can narrow down 1 or 2 roamers. But when you're going up against 4, that makes it much more difficult.
Well, the thing, again, is that these 4 roamers are pretty spread out. Yes, there's a lot of them, and they are going to start things off by picking off FK1 with this nice angle from PZD down into the hallway underneath him. Like that very much, PZD. And that's a big operator off the board, too. FK1 on that Ash. That's good. Ooh, he might get the... Oh, he sees
grab
the
the kill there on the GCR, and he will go down. A wonderful placement here by PZD. At first, I was questioning Smoke being up here so far off site when he is so valuable for that front lobby push. But he's making it work here for him. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Well, we talked about it before, and you know, Smoke is one of those most versatile operators in the entire game. He has a lot of options abound. Oh, this C4 doesn't look like it's going to get anyone from Kamikaze, but it doesn't really matter. Again, a 5 versus 3 here, and INTZ are the ones put in the pressure position. The nice shot from Kamikaze on the Ninja is going to put it into a 5 versus 2. Only a Thatcher and a Thermite, and the Thermite's getting picked off.
Now, last but not least, going to be Lendy. Has been spotted out. You've got 2 members from Black Dragon just pushing on out. Going to finish off the round in a strong suit. And now we see Black Dragons taking a flawless lead to INTZ.
That was a definitive victory there from Black Dragons. You could see they were playing recklessly, they were playing on the fly, and it all started with those 2 kills through that angle onto the hallway downstairs from that Smoke roaming hard. If he hadn't got those 2 kills, you could bet that the rest of his team would have started getting quite as aggressive. But now it is a 1-1 scoreline. Both of these teams successful on defense, both of them unsuccessful on offense, not able to make anything happen. And what we're seeing also in that last round from INTZ is they were unable to clear any of the roamers. They addressed each and every one of them. They were playing somebody to push into armory. Whoa, a tower defense. Whatever I was just saying is not important. We have a tower defense coming out here for INTZ on their 2nd round of defense. Now, this is very uncommon to say the least, but it is fantastic to see INTZ making this attempt. See how it works out for them. They're going to be reinforcing the far side of the attic, which means that they're likely to try and hold that meeting room and tower as well as attic. So that basically consolidates the map. It cuts it off so that you only need to hold the northmost side. You can see that castle barricade going down in the basement. That is an attempt to consolidate, again, it just down to 2 floors if you don't count the top tower.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what I wanted to see and exactly what I think is falling into the theme of this season, is that we are starting to see old maps, but new bomb sites. And this is tremendous to see, as you mentioned earlier. We are going to have 3 roamers upstairs. I want to say 1 might be in the top of Red Tower, but...
So what's going to be happening here is Black Dragons are going to start clearing from the west, as you would typically do on this particular map. They're going to start clearing from the west, go over to the east. They are going to establish map control and deny any of the roamers. And the thing is, they're going to have to contest 1 roamer, sure, but after they've contested actually 2 roamers, the Jaeger and the Bandit, on the south side of those barricades from Meeting Hall. Anyway, after they've contested those roamers, whether they've won or lost the engagement, then they have to make a full frontal assault onto the Meeting Hall itself, if not the tower. And that requires a lot of manpower, requires a lot of time, and they're already 1 minute down going into this round.
They are, and we do see PZD trying to work his way up the back stairs. Again, we've got Jaeger and Bandit. That's going to be GCR and FK trying to hold down the fort on the front south end of the map.
Yeah, you can see this barbed wire is very tactically placed. PZD would have a lot of options here to push through this doorway and start applying pressure onto what I believe is the Jaeger and Big Kids. However, that barbed wire is going to slow him way, way down.
We are going to have FK trying to come out with a little bit of a pre-fire on the top of those back stairs. Bandit's going to be close. Now, it looks like they will drop. He dropped down out the window, coming up the back main stairs as GCR picks off Psycho. So him hop on out of the window, and so he did manage to get back upstairs away from the rest of the team. The rest of the onslaught of the attackers, but it looks as though Kamikaze pushes in the big window and FK will fall.
And you can see here it is a 4-4. However, the roamers have done their job in this round. 1 single minute left to go, and there is still a Bandit who is looking to contest from the master bedroom, I believe.
It's either master
He's
bedroom or
Armory
in the
Hall.
armory.
I think he's Armory Hall.
Yeah. He's Armory Hall waiting for the push to
There
come
it
on
is.
down, which is where Glaz is going to be looking. However, GCR is getting a little tingly feeling right now. He wants to just stay put. He's backing up into the armory. He's going to get detected here. He's going to be spotted. Now he's wasting as much time as he can, and that's exactly the goal.
Yeah, but at the same time, 50 seconds left to go. There's not a lot of options
There
for
is
the
a
attackers.
wonderful shot there by Kamikaze. A 3-on-4 now with 45 seconds to go. They've only cleared out half the map so far.
Yeah, they've only cleared out the northmost side of the map from the meeting hall, and now they have to, again, start that full frontal assault onto these remaining 3 defenders who are all just kind of, you know, hanging out in meeting hall, hanging out in tower. They don't need to apply any pressure.
Now
They are actually going to, though, and we are going to see smoke get picked off by PZD as he attempts to go for that aggressive push.
Now you can see what Silence was doing. He was trying to draw back 10 seconds on either side of the meeting hall there, and unfortunately he pushed a little bit too soon and didn't pre-fire the main entry point to lobby. However, PZD did tag him down.
Oh no!
9 above, however, it looks like we're going to have PZD falling. He's got a castle barricade blocking his way. Fortunately for him, he does have the breaching charge, but it will not be enough. Last man alive is going to have to be the Valkyrie, but he does fall, and so does Lend. And now we have a successful attacking on this back red tower by Black Dragons.
So very nice idea there from INTZ, as well as a well-executed idea. I think that they did a good job of wasting a whole lot of time for the attackers on the northmost side of that meeting hall. However, when it really came down to it, after those roamers had been picked off, and unfortunately the bandit was unable to influence the round much at all, he kind of just died. After that happened, the remaining attackers, they had the man advantage pushing into the tower. I mean, they just kind of established lines of sight into the bomb site itself. And that, by the way, is very impressive. Normally, you would see in that situation a team consolidate itself and say, okay, we're all going to push from meeting. We're all going to push from outside tower. We're going to start getting on windows. We're going to do one of these things. And what we saw Black Dragons do is they did a little bit of everything, and they made it work. So the problem with trying to do everything, with pushing in through meeting hall, with pushing in through the tower door, with pushing in through the tower windows, and they did all 3, is that normally you could just, you know, one of those players get picked off, and then that's all the pressure from that lane alleviated. In this situation, Black Dragons won each and every one of those engagements, which made it so that there was no real chance for INTZ to start that comeback later into the round. A nice try all the same, though, and it was really cool to see tower defend it.
Now we can see Psycho about to jump on out of the dining room to try to throw a cam out here on that green silo. Now fortunately for INTZ, Ninja did have his drone over there, so he will most likely spot that out here momentarily. The bus Valkyrie cam is one of the ones that is a typical spot. Most people will look there nowadays.
It'll get shot, probably.
Yeah.
It gives you some good initial information, though. You can see these mirror windows tactically placed to hold the to hold the master bedroom and the kitchen downstairs. That means that with that kitchen mirror window looking into cafeteria, they're going to be applying a lot of pressure to cafeteria, so they don't have to worry about grenades or shotguns coming from underneath once they, or if they, you know, so basically they don't have to lose control of below them. And then the one in the master hallway will be to counter specifically an armory master take.
Now, unfortunately, Kamikaze's nade, or C4, didn't miss its target. Ninja, however, will still stay alive. A couple bullets will come up from Twitch to pop on Kamikaze and be finished off there by Sledge. That's going to be Ninja. FK, however, was managing to take down Kamikaze. Or, sorry, Ninja.
These unreinforced armory walls are gonna apply a lot of pressure now to PZD.
We're gonna hear an aggressive push by Cycle. He will get detected after not getting out as smoothly as he wanted to, and that's gonna force Ninja to still stay on this window, live and healthy as it can be.
But again, PZD, he's in a really bad situation here. Ninja's gonna get the shot on through the wall. That's a headshot onto PZD, and now it's a 2 versus 5. Not a lot of options for the remaining Black Dragons players, as they are kind of all centered around the white stairs.
These rounds are progressing very quickly. However, we will have one shot from Psycho coming up the back stairwell, taking out Silence. A 4-on-2 now with 1:20 left to go. Still fairly a lot of time left to go here for INTZ to secure the sites.
Yeah, and that INTZ push straight onto the armory was applied a lot of pressure, and unfortunately Black Dragons, where they were trying to challenge it in such a direct manner, and when you do that, yeah, okay, that's a good idea, it can work, but if you fail, I mean, it's like we talked about spreading out, you know, trying to address every single lane into the site. It works really well if you win your engagements, but if you lose a single engagement, then suddenly everything starts to cascade and fall apart, and that's what we saw happen for Black Dragons here on this defense.
Now we are going to need Psycho to make a push right now, because if he waits anymore, they're going to clear out the rest of the site and be able to see that it's all clear. He does pick off one kill, and a team kill also happens. FK and Len are the last 2 alive here on the attacking squad. Diffuser going to be hitting in the hands of Thatcher here, as Ty's on the back stairs. Psycho trying to regroup with him. Now the C4 might come out from underneath. No, it will not. The plane's going to go down inside of the B site. And Ty still on the back stairs. We are going to have Psycho working his way up from the beginning, from the front stairs. Clearing out master bedroom, now moving on over, realizing, okay, maybe the middle dorms are all clear. Ty's going to actually go to toss one C4 from underneath. It will not tag its intended target, so Psycho's still going to progress forward. They've got to get back. That was a 3-speed, or the 3-armored, 1-speed, trying to make that C4 toss. He moves on in and will be taken out, calls on out to his friend, but FK is there to drop him down. We will see INTZ secure round number 4.
A good attack there from INTZ, but more importantly, an interesting defense from Black Dragons. The way that they were getting so aggressive onto that attack was just kind of unpredictable, but it didn't work for them. Now, if it had worked for them, I mean, obviously they would have won the round, right? But again, we talked about taking these risks, taking these chances. Normally, we don't see this in the Pro League, and it's really cool to see Black Dragons kind of go for it. You know, like, let's just fight them. Let's, you know, let's try and put ourselves on the board ahead of the enemy. And you're seeing the same thing. It's reciprocated, of course, from INTZ.
A little bit of the playstyle we're seeing here reminds me a little bit of G-Bots. And I just remember thinking of G-Bots being that team that is very aggressive from time, but also able to tone it down. And they are unconventional in some of the ways that they hold their strategies.
Yeah, there is a comparison to be drawn there. And now INTZ, they're going to be going down into the basement defense yet again. They were successful here the first time, I believe. And they are going to try and attempt it yet again. And what happened here on the first defense from INTZ when they were going onto this side was we had a FK1 playing that Jaeger in the meeting hall. He was able to stall out as well as trade out a lot of kills to give his team a super great time advantage as well as man advantage leading into the later end of the round. And then once the attackers, that was Black Dragons, had control over meeting hall, they basically didn't have any real avenues to push into the site. Sure, they had drop downs open, but that's not how you attack a basement. You need to have more options than that. You need to have bodies to cover angles. You can't simply just drop down. You're going to get traded off or killed off as soon as you hit the floor.
And we do see PZD progressing into the small tower as he usually does, and Kamikaze actually going to lead the way this time. Drone's at his feet there, trying to give him the clear and the go-ahead.
This is an example, again, of clearing from west to east. Time and time again, this is how you see this particular map, Oregon, played out for the attacking squad. It doesn't even really matter which site is being defended. This is just where it starts. Because, I mean, one of the main aspects of Siege on attack is you have to first establish your beachhead. You have to first have an avenue into the building so that you can start to make your plays happen before the round even really begins for you. And that's a challenge by itself, but it's especially easy on a map like Oregon. On a map like Cafe, on the other hand, it's really, really difficult. I mean, all you have is like the top of red stairs.
Yep. Now we will see right there, GCR is going to get tagged by Kamikaze inside of the attic. It's not exactly sure where that shot came from, but I tell you what, I think FK called it out for him, said it's somewhere inside of the meeting hall. So he will fall and get zapped again. That's 20 health off the board there. Will he get tagged a third time?
He got the third one.
That's
there
30 damage done to him already.
40.
He just cannot tag it.
I believe that was 40.
There it is. So that is, I want to say, yeah, 40, looking at his health bar at the top there. 4 hits down. That's enough to say about 2 bullets into his chest.
Yeah, that'll save you a lot of time, especially when you're shooting at a 3-speed. However, it took a lot of time to do it as well for the attackers, and only a minute left to go. Still, neither of these teams have found an engagement, and no one's died.
We do have Ninja holding it down on the back stairs. Again, he's waiting for the push and also waiting for a potential lurk and flank. We will finally see GRC get finished off by PZD as he rushes around from the middle of the meeting hall. Now he's going to try to take on Jaeger. That's going to be FK. FK decided to back into Red Tower. Meeting hall control is now in the hands of Black Dragon. 40 seconds left to go. Drop hatches are open. This is going to allow Black Dragon to possibly push back the rotation and stop the rotation with that drop hatch open. You can see PZD waiting for that rotation back. See him drop in. Now we do still have FK on the back stairs. The flank coming around from above, and we'll see PZD just drop him down. Ninja has managed to get back onto the site though. It looks as though we will have Linked fall, as we also have Ninja then go down as well. Last minute alive going to be the Smoke. He's inside the closet. He gets taken out very easily. Silence will fall to Psycho. Round number 5 goes to Black Dragons.
A good attack there from Black Dragons, very consolidated aggression. I like the way that they didn't really have much control. They had a semblance of control in that they had, you know, the entire north side of Meeting Hall. I don't know why I drew a blank on that. They had the entire north side of Meeting Hall under their clutches. However, that's not really a lot to scoff at. I mean, it's not much to look at when you're talking about an Oregon basement attack. You need to establish control over that Meeting Hall. But with a minute left, they managed to take control of Meeting Hall, take control of Tower, make that push down into the A-bomb site downstairs, and eliminate all of the defenders. And that is honestly very impressive. very good aggression coming out from Black Dragons. Now that will put them in the lead 3-2 and still fighting very hard for this win. Trying to bring it back here on Oregon. We will have Black Dragons thrust down into the basement yet again. And INTZ put onto attack. There is no Hibana coming out. We haven't seen Hibana played very much, which is very interesting to see. Gotta be honest here, because Hibana on this particular bomb site is extremely useful. There are 3 drop downs. And with the Hibana, you can open each and every one of them, or you can open up the mirror windows, which are usually placed in that closet or by construction. And having those mirror windows open gives you a lot of options as an attacker. Especially, I mean, look at this. This is the Black Dragons roam coming out again from this smoke. Now, it's likely he's not going to get those same 2 kills through the floor like he did previously. However, he's still going to apply a lot of pressure to the attack, waste a lot of time with that mirror window, and probably just have a good round overall. I mean, Smoke's a really good operator for that position.
I was going to say, with how much we saw of the roam game from Black Dragons last time they defended downstairs, I wouldn't be surprised if INTZ is saying, let's just push in through construction. That's what you bring the thermite for.
And there we
push
have
right
it.
in, and that way, we've talked about it before, you can easily watch the flank from Red Tower. And you just push into the site, and you've only got 1 person to deal with. And last time, I believe that was Ty on Mira.
Yeah, and it looks like INTZ will be doing just that, but they're taking their merry time about it, setting themselves up for this attack. They have a lot of factors to consider here, and with a whole minute off the board, this is definitely not a rush. And you need to be applying that pressure fast when you're dealing with a hard rotation that will be coming from Black Dragons eventually.
Yep, you can already see the Black Dragons IGL is already calling him back on site. Kamikaze's on the stairs. 9 next is still on the bottom here. He's moved back onto site. You've got Mira and who else was down here? No, those are the 3. No, we also have Psycho. So we now have 4 from what was a 4-man roam is now 4 men on site and only 1 roamer.
I really like how Black Dragons reserved their mirror windows until they knew where the attack was coming from. Sure, they put that one all the way deep on the roam game for Smoke. However, the second mirror window, instead of going into the closet, as is typical, went onto that wall that you can see in the hallway to try and maintain some control over the stairs. We are going to see PZD start things off here onto GCR. That's because INTZ didn't take control of this meeting hall before they made their push into the construction itself. And now having that meeting hall drop open is going to give PZD a lot of options.
Yeah, but you can see that's going to be FK opening up the hole in the wall, and PZD is actually in a very good position. Right now, he's going to be waiting for the push on out, but it looks like Ninja will spot him if he gets his drone there successfully. And he may have seen him. He might not have, though.
He may have missed him. He's going to spot the pulse, however, and Kamikaze is going to fall further back into Attic. Although 51 seconds left to go, it's still the pressure's still on INTZ here to make this happen.
We do have Len in the back of blue at the moment. PCD still looking for the shots there onto him as we have got Pulse above. That's Kamikaze. Now Len's feet are being spotted. You can see the patience from PCD as he waits for the perfect shot, goes for the shotgun kill and gets it down. That's going to be a wonderful secondary kill. Goes for the shotgun kill but misses the drop shot from Ash as FK takes him out for the count. Now there's only 1 man left to go on inside. It's going to be Silent against 4 defenders. He's going to be inside of blue, and it looks like we might be shots from above as shots from the side of the site. And we will not see this go in the Fan of Silence. We will have the pistol kill come on out from Kamikaze. He takes him on down.
A very well layered defense there from Black Dragons, and an unfortunately slow attack coming out from INTZ. I like the way that INTZ read into that situation. Oh, hey, they roam really, really deep on the west side of the building. They put mirror windows, they invest their smoke. We should probably just avoid the west side of the building. So they went for that construction take like you were talking about, and that's good read. However, they were too slow about it. They allowed the rotation coming from Black Dragons, and because of that, we are now on match point. As well as, more importantly, when they were making that push into a meeting hall, they had too much to deal with and they couldn't handle all of it. There was not enough men on the board for INTZ to make that push happen. Now Black Dragons going on to attack, INTZ back onto defense. It's likely we're going to see a basement defense coming out again, and we will be seeing just that.
Now it is match point 4-2 for Black Dragons. They secure this attack phase. We will see this first map go in the hands of Black Dragons, and ultimately we'll be moving on to our second map of the evening in this best of 3.
I love the speed and the pacing of this matchup. It's been extremely fast. These rounds have just flown by, really, and I do very much enjoy watching these two teams play. Now, I'd be curious to see how exactly INTZ choose to handle this. I mean, I like this mirror window coming into the kitchen. That's going to be a very heavy pressure onto cafeteria. However, I don't know if it's entirely necessary. I think the mirror window we were seeing from the smoke on Black Dragons earlier is probably the more useful one, I'd say, because the thing about that mirror window is you can just go upstairs as an attacker, open up above it, and then anyone playing it dies, and the mirror window gets opened. I mean, there's not, and you are seeing clearly here that we don't have any roamers above to cover for that coming out from INTZ. So just a little bit of a base uncovered there from INTZ. At the same time, if we look back at the way that INTZ won this last time, they won this defense last time, it was because Black Dragons spent a little bit too time hunting down the roamers, which might be playing into the way that INTZ is playing right, or work for the way INTZ is playing right now. As you can see, there's that barbed wire there on the south side of cafeteria door, trying to waste some more time.
Now PCD has entered into the bomb site, or entered into the building the exact same time, or the exact same way every single time.
Yeah.
He's doing this exact same thing here. Now we also will see the shots laying down onto GCR from Kamikaze. Wonderful tag there onto the head. There's going to be smoke coming in from behind. Now he moved into the showers coming up behind the Bandit, and that will be the end of FK, behind the Jaeger.
Yeah, I think, not sure he got both of those, but he did, in the end, both Bandit and Jaeger have been eliminated, and with 2 minutes left to go, it is looking absolutely detrimental for INTZ. They have such a man disadvantage now, and so much time left to go in this round that it's going to be all pressure on INTZ here to keep themselves in this first map of Oregon.
Now we do still have one roamer, that's going to be Knee next, and last time we saw him do a little bit of some roam, a little bit of some impact, but he's got to get his timing down on this. He's got to make sure that it's going to be effective. I think he might be up in the attic at the moment. He is. So PCD likely to open up some of the barbed wire here and then work his way forward.
You can see the normal take is coming out from Black Dragons. They're not rushing themselves here. They're going, all right, we're going to do a lobby drop take. We have the man advantage, and we just lost it. Well, at least we lost the significant advantage. Ninja going to pick off the Ash to keep his team in this matchup, hopefully for him.
Now that is a good C4 use, although it might not have been to get the target. He used it to open up the wall, get himself back on site, or unless he's going to play this a little bit aggressively.
I mean, in this situation as a defender, you need to play a little bit aggressively. You need to be able to trade frags back in order to bring your team into the match, or at least back into the match, as far as the scoreline is concerned.
So we'll see Ninja all the way back onto the B site here. 30 seconds left to go. Silence going to take a little bit of damage here, but the gas grenades are going to stop the push through the middle, or the main stairwell. You saw Ty just try to scoot all the way down the stairs. He's got the diffuser in hand. Might be going for the plant here as Kamikaze trying to hold the flank. Kamikaze's still baiting out the gas grenades here with 15 seconds left to go. Silencer looks like Ty and Psycho will both fall to Lend and Silence, and we will have Sledge get nailed with the shotgun. Last minute alive is going to be Blackbeard, and it looks like this could be the clutch here from INTZ, and it will happen as Ninja takes him down. We still are going to see INTZ in this. It's now 4-3.
Well played to Ninja there. If it weren't for his pressure being applied in the meeting hall, you would have almost certainly seen Black Dragons push into meeting hall, start applying pressure from more of the drop downs onto the anchors in the site. Those last 3 remaining defenders would have gotten picked off likely one by one. However, because of that meeting hall pressure that we saw from Ninja, because of that initial kill onto the Ash, that meant that Black Dragons second-guessed themselves. And instead of going for a full take, opening up all their options, they just were like, all right, let's push in through the lobby drop. And that just is going to work against you if you don't have a way to nullify the mirror window. Now, 4-3, INTZ are looking for that comeback. They are going to be attacking onto an upstairs defense coming out from Black Dragons. We'll see exactly how they choose to handle it. They have brought a Capitao to the board. Capitao, an interesting operator to say the least, does have a lot of good ways to get rid of certain positions in those fire arrows that a lot of operators don't have. I mean, the fact that alone that the fire arrows bypass ADS devices is pretty significant.
Yeah, and so with Black Dragons being up here, I believe they lost this defensive hold, and they lost it very decisively. It came to be a 5-on-2, I think.
Yeah, and the reason for that was because they were so very aggressive onto the attackers, and that can work. That can work, do not get me wrong. That is definitely a viable strategy. However, when it doesn't hard. And we saw it happen. Like you said, it was a 5-on-2 at one point, and that's just severe. They actually, Black Dragons almost made that comeback happen, but ended up not being able to bring it in there towards the end.
Looks as though we are going to have Ninja. That's the Sledge going up to the small tower as FK is going to be getting rid of the camera. I might have already gotten picked off there by GZD.
So you can see here the attack coming out from INTZ is going to be a B bomb site windows, main window, and main tower take. At least that's how it's starting off here. Going into this match point round. Now, again, we talked about how the pressure's on INTZ last round where they were in a 3v5, and now the pressure is still on INTZ as it is still match point. They haven't brought themselves back to OT just yet. One more round on the board, and they will do just that. But that's still 1 round left to go. Silence has taken control of this attic. That's going to mean that his team can repel into those B windows and start applying pressure directly onto the B bomb site. But they're going to have to contest PZD, who's playing that smoke deep inside the site.
Now, fortunately here, Silence was able to open up the wall, and that's going to leave a hole that he can now move from attic into the main hallway, going into master bedroom. That does force Nenex out anywhere, I believe, off to the master bedroom possibly. However, we do have PZD inside of the A site, ready to see exactly what just might come his way. Silence, however, will pick off that kill there onto Ty, and again, Silence he's gotten that kill there onto Mira.
Yeah, Mira's a big operator to have off the board. I mean, it's the HP. Psycho, however, is going to run out and pick off GCR and Ninja, repelling on those B windows. And that's why you have to maintain control over that tower, lest you get flanked. So that's Black Dragons now putting themselves in a position to lock this entire map out with just those 2 kills.
That's also Diffuser down outside of those north windows, so if Psycho calls it, he knows that, okay, if they wait until about 30 seconds left, they're going to have to rappel up and swing in, which I can just stay at this window.
And I think we heard, Psycho heard that run out there from the Thatcher. He will go for the vault out.
There it is. Wonderful shot there by Psycho at 3K in his pocket at the moment. At 3-on-2 now. He is coming around here. Actually might spot the Hibana inside of Attic. No, Hibana actually navigated away.
Attic... Yo, the Hibana walked right past the Jaeger and managed to put himself into small bunks.
Now there's going to be one shot. Psycho saw it. He goes for the 4K. He's got it. He's got 1 guy left to go. It's going to be FK. He picked up the diffuser. Looks like we will have 15 seconds for FK to hop inside. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Psycho goes to toss the C4 inside. The Valcam is perfect. It's given him plenty of information. FK's going to move on over into the site. Oh, we could have a clutch here. Goes for the ace, and he gets it. Psycho's going to grab the ace to get the win here for Black Dragons on map number 1.
Good halves coming out from both of these teams in the chat, and it was indeed a fantastic half. Both these teams playing extremely hard in this first map of Oregon, and an ace to lock things out on that final round. Very impressive from Psycho.
What a round.
And you know, I'm going to be honest, I talk about this for a second. We were talking about earlier about how Valkyrie sees more play in the Latin American scene than we see maybe in every other scene, and it seems like Valkyrie is the best fragger for Latin America, and I think they tend to favor the high rate of fire that MPX brings to the field.
I was about to say that too. Like, the MPX is, I feel like, in some regions, or at least on some teams, an underrated weapon.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. The dilemma with the MPX is that if you fight a Blackbeard, you can't win that fight. You basically cannot win that fight. You'd have to be really lucky. But other than that, it's a fantastic gun. If you can get the headshots, and these players are obviously getting the headshots.
That
they are. It's a fantastic gun. A very high rate of fire.
Yeah. So congratulations to Black Dragons. That was map number 1. We will get underway with map number 2, which I think we had said is going to be Border, and then our final map I think is Chalet. We'll have to stay tuned and see.
I mean, both of these maps that we're going to be going on to, whichever one it be, are going to be very good, well-balanced maps that everyone obviously likes to play. So I think that the preference is going to swing in one team's or another way, obviously, as it always does. However, both of them are going to have competent strategies set up for either or. So it's going to be a close one, to say the least, similar to what we just saw on Oregon.
Yeah, I actually, so, I mean, we talked about it right off the bat when we saw INTZ go to Red Tower. That was something that, like I said, is starting to seem like a theme here in this season, Season 2 of the Pro League for Year 2. And I'm curious if we're going to see that same kind of mentality come out on our next map. It could be, if it's Chalet, possibly the Bar Gaming Room, especially if they might have taken something from the books of last night.
So the Bar Gaming Room defense is really interesting. I went back and analyzed the VOD after we casted it yesterday for North America. And the way that they have themselves set up, there are ways to deal with it, like, for example, taking from underneath, pushing your way in through Snowmobile, but that is equally counterable in the same sense as, like, okay, you could just reinforce the Snowmobile walls to play a bandit downstairs and try to hold that. I mean, there's so many different strategies that could evolve from that particular defense. Now, normally on pocket strat defenses, I don't see them, you know, they're finding their way into the meta, into what we commonly see. But that Bar Gaming defense was actually, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it strategically, and that, you know, you have so much control over upstairs. Again, the balcony outside is basically useless. These are some nice frags coming out from these teams. Let's just take a second to acknowledge both of these teams played fantastically, and each and one of these frags is a sight to behold.
Yeah, and so, like we said, Black Dragon did come out on top. INTZ did try to pull it back, though. They were down 4-2. We ended up winning that round in a very clutch situation, making it 4-3. But
yeah,
I tell you, Psycho had something to say about that last round.
Yeah, the ace was fantastic, and it was definitely worthy of a map win by itself. However, yeah, talking about Chalet. That bar gaming room defense, totally viable. If teams start to analyze that and start to like dive into it, we could see it played a little bit more. However, I don't think it's likely. Most teams actually snub the idea of mixing up their strategies and going for a different site. A lot of them think, it's not viable, ha ha ha. They just throw it out there as being not viable because they, from their experience, are used to it not being the site played. And so that doesn't necessarily come from analyzing or strategy. It just comes from repetitiveness.
It's a learned behavior.
Exactly.
So
Thank you. Perfect.
So you have all of these teams from that have been in the Pro League. They have this learned behavior that on Chalet, you go Kitchen Trophy, you go Snowmobile and Wine Cellar. But what we've seen previously and what we're possibly seeing this time around is we're seeing these Challenger League teams that do not have this learned behavior.
Yeah, well, they have a different learned behavior.
They have a different learned behavior of, okay, these are some other sites we've chosen. Yeah. We've taken a look at them. We're starting from a fresh slate. And so that's what we're starting to see here is some of these teams come out of the woodwork and say, we're going to try this out. And as you said there, the top or the bar and gaming room on Chalet seems like it might be something viable.
Yes, however,
we are going to get underway with Border. Border is our second map of the day, and we're going to start out with Black Dragons on attack. So let's see what the operator's choices are going to be here.
Yeah, so Black Dragon's starting on attack. Like you said, we are going to have INTZ going on to their defense of what I believe is Armory. I do not know. I do not speak Portuguese.
Yes, this is the Arsenal room in Armory here, the lockers.
Awesome. All right, so Black Dragons are going to be bringing the Glass to the board and not a Blackbeard. Kind of surprised by that pick there. Bringing a Thermite and a Hibana, trying to cover all of their bases. We talked about this earlier, how you have both the destruction operators. You open your options up quite a lot, as well as having those contingency plans. But more importantly, and I think it's worth noting on, Thermite isn't a bad operator apart from his ability, right? So like it used to be, everyone would call him the noodle operator because his weapon kind of flew all over the place. It was kind of wavy in its recoil pattern. That changed. It changed, and his recoil is extremely manageable. So, and then now he's got flashbangs. So as soon as you get those Thermite charges off, or if you don't need them in an attack, he just becomes a straight up fragging operator, and his gun is really good for that role.
Yeah, I'd say it is. Basically, that's one of the things that we do see from time to time, and a lot of the times it's happening in the Pro League. When you bring a Thermite, he's used his breaching charges, like you just called it out. He becomes a fragger for his team.
I mean, I got flashbangs, I got a good rifle, and I'm a 2-speed. Why not, right? We are going to be seeing the attackers spawn on the east side of the building. They're going to be aggressing their way towards the offices, going for that B-bomb site take. This is the more commonly played attack that we see these days on Border. However, we have seen, usually I think from North America, we were seeing Blackbeard play quite a lot on this attack. Yep. And it was made quite useful as well. We're not going to be seeing that from Black Dragons. They are instead opting to bring the Glaz. And I think that makes a lot of sense because the Glaz can aid in that push into the B-bomb site if you're coming from the balcony, or just to cut off the rotation from the A-bomb site, because there's only one way to rotate from A to B. That's through that one single door. So once they've established control over offices, Fountain, and the B-bomb site itself, picked off any defenders playing in there, Black Dragons then just lay down some smokes and get the plan.
Now we do have PCD opened up the east wall into the offices. He's taking a look towards Fountain at the moment. Playing it very cautiously though, because we do have INTZ pre-opening up that Fountain wall. You can see all the hits on it.
And I think the guys in CCTV coming out from INTZ, that very heavy roam game coming out from INTZ in CCTV, have a mirror window, which they are going to utilize through both of those broken walls, and will be able to assist in holding this offices. Ninja, however, is the only one who's capable of holding this window, and he's going to have to contest as the smokes do come out now. That's a lot of utility used up for Black Dragons on those smokes. They only have 3, I believe, on this team.
Now you can see the patience that Ninja is going through. He's just trying to play a little bit left and right. We do have TCR who's going to miss the shot.
The
He just got unaided at the wrong time. Ninja will also fall. Kamikaze's going to come out strong with a double kill.
That's office control cinched in the bag for Black Dragons. Unfortunately, those mirror windows not able to be utilized to the fullest of their ability. You could see it there just as he peeked. He's looking towards the Jaeger, who has repositioned. And unfortunately, again, that mirror window not being able to trade those kills back is going to put INTZ in a very bad predicament right now. But at the same time, Black Dragons have used all of their smokes, which means on this site push itself, they're going to have to refrag each other, otherwise risking a comeback here from the defenders.
Now we do have FK coming on out of the monitors room, out of break room, possibly peeking on in towards the offices. Now this is a hole that we've seen earlier on, and it actually proved to be useful for the team previously, but he's not able to get the kills he wants on it. Silence, however, will take that SMG-11 to the head of Hibana, and she will fall down.
You can see PZD still wary of that Jaeger playing in CCTV. Meanwhile, we are going to have Silence picked off by Thigh. 20 seconds left to go now.
And a 2-on-4. Len still trying to hold down the 40. Does have a C4 in hand, but it looks as though Kamikaze will fall to FK. He goes around for the flank. Now he's got to come around. Looks like Psycho's going to swing some bullets into his back, but misses. FK's going to grab one here. He's still here. Ty, PZD, and Psycho. Last three alive. However, FK's got his own to say about it. PZD peeks on from the hole open on the west balcony, and we will see the shots go down. Right there's going to be the win here for Black Dragons.
So you could say nice try, FK. However, at the same time, FK was that player, you have to remember, who playing in CCTV was unable to refrag his teammates who were getting slaughtered in offices. So not being able to get those trade backs ultimately meant that the defenders were at such a man disadvantage when the attackers started to make that push into the site. Yes, they didn't have smokes, but they could just refrag, and just that happened. We saw the victory coming out from Black Dragons to start us off here on Border. Now, Armory defense coming out from Black Dragons as well. Going to be going to that same exact bomb site. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly INTZ choose to attack this, because we talked about it earlier. It's more common that we see an attack straight into offices these days. However, there's a lot of counters coming out from that. And there's counters equally for the A-bomb site take. So let's talk about the guys in CCTV for a second. When you're playing inside CCTV as a defensive squad, you have that mirror window, you have those walls opened up into office. That gives you line of sight into the office itself. That gives you a lot of control. However, you also have to be wary of players pressuring you from the balcony. And that can be remedied by throwing a Valkyrie cam out there, having someone play aggressive onto the west balcony, which means the attackers are forced onto the south balcony door into cafeteria. And you have basically CCTV cinched in the bag as a defender as long as each and every one of your operators hold the angle they need to hold. However, there are ways around that. Simply running through the front door up the main stairs into that rotational, for example, is one of the ways. But, you know, that's the sort of thing, like a play that you need to make that is super aggressive and super risky at the same time as an attacker. So, are we going to see a methodical take into offices coming out from INTZ, or are we going to see some crazy plays coming out from INTZ to try and counter the strategy that they know they're going to be coming up against here on this defense? And we are seeing Black Dragons do very similarly to INTZ playing in that CCTV. Or are we going to see just a simple CCTV, A-wall, straight into the A-bomb site take?
Looks as though Ninja's going to be the one forcing his way onto the west end of the map, first floor, trying to take out some roamers first, but we don't have anyone on this first floor. He does have a drone working his way to try and give him some headway.
You can see there, it's just in the very beginning of the round, trying to clear out those roamers, trying to establish some control over the first floor, and it looks like they have done that for the most part. I don't see any roamers coming up from Black Dragons. However, this angle, a couple angles probably from Black Dragons looking down, are waiting for the attackers to start that clear.
Now, I believe Psycho realized the hole that he got opened up was droned out. He saw the shots coming up from FK. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Psycho try to drop here inside of servers, but he's also got to be cautious because he doesn't know how many people are down there. Minute 30 still on the board here. 5-on-5. We are still seeing INTZ get into position. They haven't progressed definitively onto a site yet, or into a coordinated strategy just yet. It looks like they're going to move their way over to the east balcony now. We see them wanting to take over the offices, and Next might be the one to help stop that.
And you saw that Twitch drone open up that mirror window, which is going to force the mirror back onto the site. However, Psycho is going to pick off FK to start things off here, and with only a minute left to go, the defenders are in a really good position here. The attackers, all they've established control over is the bottom floor, and they're losing it. Ninja is going to trade things back onto Psycho, though.
That will be one of the roamers who have dropped. That's Psycho, the Valkyrie. However, we do see Ninja getting tagged in the back here. I think that was from servers. Right now, he's going to try to take a different route around. Looks like that may have been Nenex that fell. PCD, though, going to take a couple bullets there onto Silence. Now that is two members of INTZ that are drastically hurt and bleeding to death. You've got Nenex, who's been down to about 1 health. Silence with about 5. GCR is going to duck his way under the line of sight of PCD as they make their way into B. Ninja still underneath here, though. We've got the diffuser in the hands of Silence. He is in sight. He's going to go for the plant here as GCR is going to try to cover it. Now PZD has all 3 gas grenades, but he's nowhere in position to use it. And that will be the F2 coming out of GCR to take down Ty. 4 on 3, diffuser getting planted. You've got Len coming around from the east stairwell. He'll take down PZD, but underneath you've got Ninex coming around. He will swing down for the trade. He gets taken out by himself here. No, that's actually not. That's going to be a double kill. Len got PZD and Ninex moving over to get finish off Len. A 1 on 2 now. Diffuser has been planted. Ninja, last man alive, 1 health and a dream. He's going to toss out a gas grenade, or a frag grenade. Giving away his position here. Bandit swings around there, and that will be the end of the round. We are going to see Black Dragons secure round number 2, leading 2-0 at the moment.
Excellent and a very aggressive retake from Kamikaze and 9. Very good take there, very good retake there. They lost control over the bomb site. They got obviously the attackers established that diffuse plant. However, when the collapse happened, the attackers were not ready to receive these last 2 defenders. More importantly, the attackers, they didn't establish any control over anything other than the B-bomb site itself, not over offices. Well, I mean, you could argue offices, but it was half-hearted, you know? They left a lot of lanes open. They didn't maintain control over east stairs, which opened up the flank avenues for the remaining defenders, as well as they lost some players and some pressure from CCTV itself. And we're seeing CCTV play a very strong role going in each and every one of these rounds, as every one of them has been in Armory thus far. And now Black Dragons 2-0. They are going to be going on to an INTZ Armory defense yet again, as INTZ was unsuccessful here previously.
So you talked about it before, the angle that we saw Mira holding, or at the time it was GCR, it was on Bandit, but the angle they were holding was actually right by the drop hatch in that monitor's room where we just saw Mira opening up the wall. The one that Len is reinforcing now. That mirror window allowed them to see all the way through Fountain, all the way through Office, and that's what was supposed to see the glass, if I remember correctly, that pushed in and then finished off Ninja.
Yeah, and that's when FK1 didn't get the refrag, unfortunately, onto that glass. But not only does it see all the way deep into offices, but it also sees that south doorway to the balcony, which gives you, again, like a lot of control. This mirror window that you just saw placed is going to maintain control of the west balcony. So the west and the south balcony are effectively cut off for the attackers, which means attacking CCTV is, yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, to say the least. Black Dragon's now going to be, instead of, well, obviously not attacking CCTV, they're going to be opting to go for an offices take, pushing their way onto the east side of the building.
Now Silence is going to play inside of the role, or inside of the office here, where we saw Ninja do that last time. Looks like he might be playing a little bit more aggressive. He's got the shotgun right underneath of the window. PCD is going to be on top of that northeast balcony, though, trying to push his way in towards the archives. Almost tapping the head there of Ninja as he scoots around the doorway. 2 minutes still to go. Kamikaze is going to be droning out now of that archives room. We can already see that the push is going to come from the east side of the balcony. You've got all 5 members. That's going to be Thermite. That's Ty on the balcony. I'm sorry, that is Glass. Kamikaze out on the balcony by the ventilation units. Looking in through the singular window. Everyone else from Black Dragons either going to be on the first or second floor here of that east balcony. We're going to see this push happen over in the next minute or so.
Black Dragons hasn't started to push into offices yet, and thus this push is going to go straight in through the balcony is probably going to be futile, but they are trying to force it out. They only have a minute 20 left to go, and it looks like Ty is going to go for that plant. Yeah,
last time Ty went for the plant, it was successful. We'll have to see.
But last time I think they had control over offices. Now Kamikaze get to pick off Ninja.
C4 is going to come on out, and that will not get destroyed as PZD finishes off Len to save the life there of Ty. Now, unfortunately, it looks like fortunately for him, he did get the diffuser planted. So a 5-on-3, and FK will get taken out here as Silence also falls to PZD. Kamikaze coming in strong from the window, and GCR will also go down. Black Dragons making it look easy.
All right, guys, next level strat. Let's take control over north balcony over outside of B. Establish some smoke line so that the defenders can't actively shoot the defuse plant, and then just plant. And that's basically all that happened in that round. They established control over the north balcony outside of the BB bombs. I mean, I just said it. I mean, there's nothing else to really say about that round. Unfortunately, we didn't see INTZ utilize their smoke canisters, utilize their C4, or utilize any of their utility or even their bodies in any way to stop that defuse plant. Because of that, Black Dragons simply walk away with a round. You can see Glaz being extremely useful on that attack. If it weren't for Glaz, it probably would have been unsuccessful for Black Dragons. The smoke line is the most important part of that whole attack there. Black Dragon's now going to be going down into the basement defense, or I say basement, the first floor defense, ventilation archives. And INTZ are going to be thrust back onto attack here. In a 3-0 situation, they've got to start making something happen here if they want to break it to the third map, which is going to be Chalet.
Now, Black Dragons is going to be that team that does stick some people up here. Almost always you're going to see some players above. Very similar to how we see in other maps when you want to make sure that you don't get flanked from above, or you want to maintain that top floor dominance.
Yeah, and having control of the top floor means that it really depends on the attack that you're seeing coming out from the attackers. For example, if the attacker's going for a west side B take, then maintaining control of where you see Kamikaze playing right now, which is Armory, is basically essential. You have to deny that control for the attackers. However, you can consolidate. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure what I was seeing there. I thought I was seeing something. I thought I was seeing a sledge try to rappel in to the balcony window for some reason. But yeah. So you have to maintain control over top of B if you're trying to hold from a B take, or offices if you're trying to hold from an A take.
And guys, we do apologize for the stuttering right now. This stream is being rebroadcasted from the Brazilian broadcast, and therefore we are experiencing connection issues or just some stuttering. But we are going to continue on with the stream at the moment, and so right now we're witnessing FK with his drone inside of the top floor, trying to clear out archives.
We're watching the slideshow of INTZ starting to take into offices.
GCR is going to move in forward after having that droned out by FK. So he's moving on in. He's going to finish off his droning, moving in even further. It looks like the first kill, though, will go from Kamikaze onto the head of Ninja. And that looks like the sledge gets taken out here. So a minute 30. They still do not have top floor dominance just yet. We're going to see, I believe that is Psycho tucked around in the back corner of the archives.
Yeah, and INTZ is going to have to contest onto Psycho and the Jaeger, I believe. Or no, it's the Bandit, Kamikaze, and that's a lot to fight right now, especially considering their positions. PZD, meanwhile, is going to pick off Lend, which is going to put the attackers now in a 3 versus 5 with no upstairs control, no downstairs control, and no real options here. Only a minute left to go.
We've talked about it before, that if you can't necessarily clear out the roamers, or you don't want to take the time to push in from tellers and bathroom, but that also doesn't seem like that's going to be the most viable option. Picking on up from the drop hatch is going to be Ty, taking down GCR as Psycho looks around from the lockers and will drop FK for the count. Last minute alive is going to be Silent. He's tucked away inside of the archives lounge. You already have Nenex moving up forward. He's inside. You're going to have Bandit fall. That's going to be Kamikaze dropping. Gives away the position, though, of Silent, and he will be dropped down for the count. We are going to have Black Dragons secure round number 4, going into map point, series point today.
Yeah, Black Dragons looking like they want to get that 5-0 to lock out border. They are very clearly well versed on this particular map, and it is showing through. Black Dragons now going to be going on to attack. INTZ back on to defense. And INTZ, they can go wherever the heck they want to go, as they have been unsuccessful thus far in each and every round, whether it be attack or defense. They're going to go back into the armory. So Black Dragon's going to be probably going for that offices take again, but I don't think that we're going to see INTZ just let that diffuse plant just kind of plop down just willy-nilly without any contention whatsoever this particular round. So the pressure is going to be on Black Dragons to make an execution that is a little bit more complicated than, hey, walk in through the balcony and plant.
Now, we have seen INTZ set this top floor site up each and every time. This is their third potential unsuccessful attempt. I'm curious if they should be trying out their secondary bomb site.
I mean, they could, but it's still kind of a risk.
But obviously, this hold is not working for them, and they're setting it up in the same fashion.
Yeah, I think that what's going through their mind is that they're just so much more definitively better on this particular bomb site than they would be downstairs. And I understand that we talked about this. We talk about this all the time, but usually 9 times out of 10, it's better to just rotate to the other bomb site. However, at this point, they've lost it 3 times, I believe, or 2 times. They've lost it 2 times, and the attack from Black Dragons has been pretty similar each and every time. Not the same. First time they actually cleared off. Second time they didn't. And I think INTZ is going to be ready to counter that now. I think they're going to be in a good position where they understand the way that Black Dragons is trying to assault this, and they might be able to handle it. We'll see, though.
Now, GZR is going to be inside of that monitor's room, looking through the mirror window, and he's going to be covering the side of Silence. Silence is inside of the office. Now, last time, I think Silence kind of got out of position a little bit too aggressively. And it looks like, no, I'm sorry, that's going to be Ninja that's tucked around inside of the singular wall in office. We are are going to see that breaching charge unfortunately miss its target, so that barbed wire will still stand. There it goes. Now it gets fully destroyed.
This is the same attack we saw from BD on their second attempt at this particular bomb site, which is they've taken control over the east stairs, they've taken control over the north balcony, the balcony outside B, that white balcony, and it looks like they just want to push into the site and plant. Silence is going to be in a position to stop this time, however, with his gas canisters primed and ready to go. So when this smoke line comes out from Kamikaze, it's likely we'll see a gas canister in return.
We do have Psycho underneath inside of Tellers, and right now he's going to make sure that there's no push out to pick off PZD repelled on this east balcony.
Also, no C4 coming up when the plant does end up going down. There is an indestructible floor inside B that you can plant on. However, it's... Oh, the rotation looks like coming out from Black Dragons. They're going to be going for CCTV. They've baited this out. INTZ has pushed their way all the way into offices, and now Black Dragons can walk free into CCTV without any contention whatsoever. With only a minute left to go, they still have plenty of time to make this push happen.
This is basically the exact opposite of what we saw here from our teams on North America yesterday. We saw a perfect rotation with a minute left to go, and it worked out very well. Looks as though it doesn't fare well here as INTZ. It's going to be FK1 picking off Kamikaze and PZD as they're both repelled on the west balcony. Now that could just give them the upper hand they needed with 40 seconds left to go. Their secret attack, their secret flip just did not work for him. GCR's going to get a double kill here. Psycho giving away his position. He's able to tag one, but Ninja swings down out from the middle dorms and finishes him off.
So an extremely well-calculated rotation from Black Dragons. However, an even better calculated rotation from FK. FK ran outside that front door, and if it weren't for him taking off those two players, I have to say it probably would have gone in the favor of the attacking squad there. So good read by him. They're coming onto the balcony on the west. Let me just go ahead and run outside. Now we are on 4-1. However, Black Dragons still on match point. It would have to be something incredible for INTZ to start their comeback here and bring us back into, or deeper into, that is, a border. Black Dragons now going to be going into their upstairs defense, and they have been successful every single time up here thus far. We have been seeing INTZ, the way they've been attacking is very similar to Black Dragons in that they sort of just take the offices and start to progress into the B-bomb site. And I think they managed to get a defuse plant once, but unfortunately they were unable to hold it because the Kamikaze, and I think it was 9 retake, was very successful.
Yeah, they did have that retake, and it, like you said, worked out very well for them. They still had plenty of time, over half the time on the diffuser left.
Yep. The defuse plant time, the diffuse time, and the defuse overall time, I believe, is much, much longer.
45 seconds in Pro League.
Yeah, in Pro League than it would be in Ranked. In Ranked, it's a lot shorter. So, like, in Ranked, you can try to just walk into the site and press F and hold it for, like, I think, like, what, 2 seconds? And it's on the floor?
I believe it's 5 seconds
really?
in Ranked, 5 seconds in Ranked, and 35 seconds timer. And in Pro League, it is 7 seconds to plant it and to defuse it, and 45 seconds to destroy it.
And those extra couple seconds are all the difference in Pro League. It really does take quite a lot more time when you're thinking about the round strategically. Now, again, match point, INTZ going to be looking for those roamers, trying to establish some amount of control over Kamikaze as they have spotted him out down in the server. Kamikaze just narrowly avoiding these angles from GCR. He's going to maintain his life down here, and Pulse staying alive underneath the site does mean there is C4 potential from underneath whenever the diffuser plant starts to come out at all times. So as long as he's down here, basically, it's going to be very difficult for INTZ to plant the diffuser. There is a spot you can plant inside the B-bomb site we talked about earlier, indestructible floor. However, it is...
it does expose yourself more to the lockers, though.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're not picking... Oh, these drones. There's another one. Kamikaze's going to keep getting spotted out. GZD or GCR going for that roam hunt.
This is where that pocket aggression comes out. You saw the flank and coming around here trying to get Kamikaze. Lots of bullets will tag him down, but I think he did just as much to GCR. Now more bullets are flying, and it looks as though GCR will come out on top. Wonderful flank there. Wonderful job trying to push onto him, but PZD looks under the drop hatch, picks off one, does not see the ash in time, and FK will get the trade immediately, followed up here by 9tex, trying to get Ninja down.
Trades back and forth and back and forth. Both of these teams not wanting to give up a downstairs control. I like the way that INTZ was clearing out those roamers, but they did take a huge risk and lose a lot of players in the process, as well as time. Only a minute left to go. Black Dragons, 3 players left on the board. All they need to do is hold the site nice and patient. Jaeger is playing in CCTV. He's going to be getting a little bit aggressive, trying to spray through the wall to say, hey, look at me, come try and fight me, rather than letting the INTZ team stack up on his teammates.
And we will be having the office wall getting opened up here by Silence. They were looking like they might push the west side, especially taking over the servers, but now they're going to force their way with 45 seconds left to go into the offices and potentially take over that B site.
Yeah, the push into offices is all well and good, but with 37 seconds to go, now 35, I mean, they have to do it very quickly here, or otherwise they're going to run out of time before they get the defuse plant.
Yep, so you saw Nenex trying to just get a little bit more distraction time before he rotates onto site. They've now gotten all three. FK going to pick off one, though. That's the Valkyrie down. I think that was C4 also injured. Now we have Nenex picking up the trade there onto Lend. A 2-on-2, 15 seconds left to go. Diffuser has been fallen. Has been down. Now Silence is going to pick that back up, try to move into site, but Nenex is going to say no. FK is going to get his own trade, and Nenex is going to finish it off here. We are going to see Black Dragons secure round number 6, secure the series, secure the map, secure the 2-0.
An excellent kill there at the end there from 9XT. And overall, just very well played from Black Dragons. You saw FK constantly trying to bring it back for his team, just unfortunately unable to get every single kill in all of the rounds.
So with that, Black Dragons successfully